So when my parents first came to Canada, one of the biggest problems they had was transportation. They couldn't even dream of affording a car back then. So when they finally saved up the money, it really did mean the world to them. It meant things like their daily commute was a lot more manageable. Now, I don't know where we went wrong from then until now, but if you fast forward, this is kind of what my commute looks like on a daily basis. And I'm sure many of you have seen this too. When I'm there, I'm squished between people like a sardine in a can, and I look out the window and I see tons of empty seats in the cars beside us. And I just think there has to be a better way to do this. Introducing Hop In, relief from your daily commute. So Hop In is really simple. You sign up with our mobile app and fill out the form, and our algorithm immediately places you into a group based on geographic location and social compatibility. Now that's important because you're going to be riding with these people every day, the same group, so you want to get along with them. Before you do that though, one of our community representatives will reach out and get you started, and they remain your sole point of contact to our company for the entire existence. Once you start, everybody saves money. Drivers get reimbursed a portion of their cost, and passengers pay a fraction of what they normally would. So here's a bit of a mock-up of the app. It's really simple. There's the chat, interactive map, and then your profile. Currently we are operating out of Toronto, but it is actually a huge market. There's about 4 million commuters daily across the Toronto area, and studies by Metrolinx have shown that 2 million are ready to go with carpooling. They're willing to go. The gross merchandise volume of Toronto in this industry is actually $2.4 billion, and Hop In captures 5% of each ride, creating potential annual revenues of $119 million. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but I do know that 2 million is about 50% of 4 million. We actually conducted our own study and found that if you add an app to the carpooling service, just an easy to use app, that percentage skyrockets to 70% willing to carpool. So that's a 40% growth just by adding our app. Our goals actually also line up perfectly with being able to sustain cities and growing communities. Think back to, one of the pictures skipped. Think back to the immigrants and even new graduates who can't afford that car. If you have, let's say, 3/4 of that cost reimbursed to you, that dream of owning your own car becomes a reality pretty quickly. Our innovative approach to carpooling also allows us to invest back into infrastructure. 5% of all of our revenue is going to go towards building transit infrastructure to connect rural areas with the cities. That also creates sustainable cities, communities, and helps to grow the economies in between. Barring all of this though, the real magic of Hop In is that you get to ride every day now with your new best friends. For our next steps, we require funding for further app development as well as our sales and marketing processes. We hope to scale out a little bit. We have had funding from the Sandbox at DMZ as well as the City of Vaughan back in Toronto. Oh, skip my last slide, but so share a ride, you'll save some money, reduce your carbon footprint, and you'll start to love that commute now. Hop into the modern age of commuting.